Welcome to my channel. I'm Jordy, and if you're new here, today's video is one that I'm really excited about. I'm going to be trying out the new Beauty Bakerie Cake Mix Foundation and Cake Face Concealer. So Beauty Bakerie recently launched their Cake Mix Foundation, which looks like this. You guys can see. So I ordered shade 17, you guys, shade 17, and I also ordered the concealer in, what is this? You're Beautiful. So the concealer looks like this. And Beauty Bakerie was so amazing to send over an extra shade just in case the one that you chose did not match you, and one of their little beauty eggs. How cute is this? So they sent like this little note. I did order it. So basically for your first foundation order, they're gifting you the next closest match to your foundation and then a little blending egg. And of course, on the little card, they give you some recommendations on how you're going to apply the foundation. So they said if your skin is feeling dry, prep your face with oil or moisturizer before cooking with Cake Mix Foundation. So let's get into some information about the foundation. So the shades that I received were shade 17, which I ordered, and then they gave me shade 19. The foundations retail for $28 and the concealer retails for $24. The good thing is that the foundation comes in 30 shades, which is amazing, and they range from lightest to darkest, with shade number 1 being the darkest, which I think is really cool and innovative and was such a good idea to do that. And again, I have shade 17 and 19, and for reference, I normally wear Fenty Pro Filt'r in the shade 420, Nars Macao, and all of their foundations. I also find that Lancôme 500 is my perfect match, and FX G100. Like, those shades are like really good matches for me, just in case any of you guys wear any of those shades so that you can reference it. So I ordered my foundation on the launch date, and it was shipped out on April 19th. And let me just give you guys a reference on how long it took. I received it in the mail on April 28th. So about a week for it to get to my home, which is pretty decent because I got free shipping, so that was pretty decent. Beauty Bakerie has like really cute marketing. This is so cute, right? Look at that. This whole concept is really cute. So the box looks like that. It's Cake Mix Foundation, and then you slide down and that is what it looks like. You have your bottle inside, and if you just wanted to look at the foundation bottle, you can flip it open and you have this little cute box with a little mirror. So this is shade 17. I'm gonna swatch that for you guys. I really like the packaging. It is 1 fluid ounce. I like that copper top. So I already have my skin prepped. I moisturized with the Drunk Elephant Protini moisturizer, and then I also use my FX Chamomile Oil. It looks like this. I do have dry skin, so I am going to listen to what they recommend and prep my skin accordingly. So I did use some oil. So let's just go ahead and swatch a little bit. So this is shade 17. And this one is shade 19. So shade 17 is supposed to be darker than shade 19. From the swatch, you can definitely see that they have different undertones. Shade 17 is a little bit more yellow, and then shade 19 is definitely a little bit more red. So for me, I'm going to go with shade 17 because that's too red for me. So I started off with 2 pumps on my little tray. 2 pumps, and I'm gonna do one side with the brush and the other side with the sponge just to see the difference. I have watched a couple of reviews and a lot of people have been using brushes, but since they gifted me the sponge, I want to see how it applies with the sponge. So I have worn this foundation once just to get an idea of it. I didn't want to come in here with a whole first impression. I wanted to have a better understanding of how the foundation wears so I can give you guys a little bit more information, especially since it is an online foundation and it's not something that you could easily return. So I'm going to use the e.l.f. foundation brush and just pick up a little bit of product. Kind of stipple that. Blend that out. So that's what it looks like. As you can see, it has pretty nice coverage. It does blend in really nicely. I think this was a good color choice. So that's what it looks like on one side. I find that this is more of a high medium coverage. I think it is buildable, but this is good coverage for me, so I'm not going to add too much on my face. And it is supposed to be a demi matte finish. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with the sponge that they provided. It is already damp. It's kind of firm. It's nice and bouncy. I like it. So I'm just going to pick some up and dot it on my face. Right away, I noticed that the sponge is sharing out the formula. It's not giving me as much coverage as the brush side gave me. The sponge is nice though. I like the density of it. Brush, sponge. So you can definitely tell that a little bit more skin is peeking through on the sponge side. It's not bad, but I like the coverage of the brush gives a lot better. So I'm going to just pop a little bit more on my face, but I'm just going to use the brush to apply it. Just for reference, it does dry down a little bit darker than it went on upon application. Just keep that in mind. It does oxidize a little bit, so, you know, watch more reviews just to get a better understanding of what shade you need to pick up. So now I'm going to try out their Cake Face Concealer. This is supposed to be a full coverage liquid concealer built with a waterproof formula and matte finish, providing all-day wear, perfect for covering imperfection and evening skin tone. So I already watched videos on this, so I know not to put it all over my face. I'm going to start under my eye. When I wore it the first time, I used a brush to apply it. I think I'm going to stick with that because it was a little sticky when I was blending it out. And I'm not trying to mess up my makeup because I got stuff to do. So we're just going to stick with the brush. And this is in the shade You're Beautiful. And the brush that I'm using is my Japanese Fluff Concealer brush. So that's what it looks like with the concealer applied. As you can see, it definitely brightened it, kind of helped to balance out the complexion so that I'm a little bit more even, so that it blends better with my chest area. So I like the color of the concealer. And you guys, it is a little bit harder to blend out. It's definitely a brush concealer. Let me just try the sponge and see what happens. Like, no. See? No. Like, look. It's not even blending. It's not moving. It's not moving. Look at that eye. I feel like I messed it up by putting the sponge on it. I guess because some water got on it. This is definitely a concealer where you're going to have to take your time and do a little bit more work to apply it. So if you're in a rush, don't use this concealer. So this is how my complexion looks after applying the foundation and the concealer. Everything looks kind of flawless, I'm not gonna lie. The concealer is a little bit difficult to blend out. It is best that you blend it out with a brush. And the brush that I use is this Japanese fluff brush, and I felt like the bristles definitely help to blend the edges so that it's a little bit more seamless and that it blends nicely with your foundation. So just keep that in mind. If you're gonna pick this concealer up, use a brush to blend it out. So now I'm just going to try and set this concealer. It is looking like it's creasing a bit under my eye right now. So I'm trying to blend it out. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder and my tapered blush brush from e.l.f. on this side. That's set pretty nicely, and I'm gonna try to use the sponge and just lightly set the other side. So that's about how much powder I'm gonna be using. Picking up just a little bit more. Okay. I think both sides look pretty nice. I'm just going to lightly set the rest of my face. Definitely just my T-zone. I do not set my entire face anymore because I am dry. That's how everything is looking after setting my face, and I like the way that it looks. I actually really like the way that it looks. Looks quite smooth, poreless, like really nice. Let me zoom in so that you guys can get a better understanding. But this is what my face looks like. So you see what I'm saying? Like, it's very smooth. The color did end up being balanced after I add the concealer to highlight. So far everything is looking really nice. I'm going to go ahead and complete the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and let you guys know how everything is. Okay, so this is what my completed makeup looked like. Everything did go on really nicely. Everything blended fairly well. As you can see, my complexion looks flawless. I'm not gonna lie, like, it looks really good, and I like the finish of this foundation. It's a demi matte. It does not look drying at all, and of course I did prep my skin with an oil, so just keep that in mind. It just depends on how you prep your skin, how the foundation may lay on it, but both times I've worn it, I've prepped with an oil, and I like the finish of it, and I find that my complexion looks really flawless. I used about 2 1/4 pumps of foundation, and I would have used less if I didn't use the sponge on this side, because the first time I wore this foundation I only used 2 pumps, and you know, it looked good. As for the concealer, there is a slight settling on my under eyes, and it's probably because of the consistency of the concealer, but I am going to wear it for a couple of hours so that you guys can see how it looks after a wear test, and I'll definitely show you how it looks in natural sunlight, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so I'm in natural sunlight for you guys. I've had it on for about 30 minutes, so it's pretty fresh, but this is what the color looks like, just for reference, because I know that's what everybody's having an issue with. It's the color. So again, shade 17 is the foundation, and then the concealer is Your Beautiful, and I use Laura Mercier translucent powder. And then for my bronzer, I used the Anastasia bronzer, mahogany, but it didn't change the color at all. So as you guys can see with my chest, everything is pretty balanced with those products. Nothing looks off. It looks pretty good. So I've had this foundation on for about 5 hours now, and this is what everything is looking like. So I zoomed up a little bit closer so you can see what the concealer is looking like. So as you can see, there is some creasing and some settling under my eyes. This is the side that I set with my brush, the side that I set with the Beauty Blender. So this is my second time wearing the foundation for a full day. The first time I wore it for about 12 hours. And the foundation wore really well. The concealer, on the other hand, it's not one of my favorite things, to be honest. It did settle, it did crease. The concealer looks good on the rest of my face. I feel like it's a concealer that would be good for like spot concealing, not necessarily the under eye area. I think the issue is that it's not really, it's thick. Yeah, it's a little thick, and it settles in those fine lines for some reason. Maybe it works better if you set it using the baking technique, but I'm not a person that bakes my under eyes that much because I do have dry skin, so that's just not gonna work for me. Unfortunately, it's not my favorite thing. I will continue to use it because I purchased it, but it's probably gonna be a concealer that I'm gonna mix with other things. As for the foundation, love it. I think it's so good. It looks really, really flawless. I got a lot of compliments when I wore it the first day. A lot of people told me that my skin looked really good, and I do agree. I feel like it looks very flawless, really smooth. There is slight settling here on my smile lines, but it's not that much, to be honest. And the day when I did wear it for 12 hours, you know, 12 hours, I did have some settling in my smile lines, but I think it wore really well, and I'm really impressed. Especially for $28, I think that's a really good price. The fact that they decided to send out an additional shade for people who ordered foundations made me a loyal customer. It's amazing that they decided, you know, to spend that money to give people complimentary items to try out. And, you know, that's pretty cool. It made me a loyal customer. I'm definitely going to order some more things for them. I want to try the lip whips out because everybody raves about them. And I actually really, really like the sponge. So I'm probably going to order the set. I think you get 6 for $18. But that's going to be it for my review. So for the foundation, it's definitely something I recommend. I think you guys should definitely try it out. And as for the concealer, it's, you know, a pass. You don't need it. It's definitely not my favorite concealer, but No, it's not horrible. And like I mentioned before, I think it would be good for spot concealing. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you have not, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And please like this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.